So I've got my stowage covers here. I think I'm going to try with the velcro idea. So let's get the back of them. It's hard to tell which is the back actually. I'm going to stick, I think we're just going to go with square patches. And I've got my velcro here. And we're going to make some nice little square patches here. I'm going to stick them on here. And I'm going to sew them onto this as well. And then we should, I'm pretty sure when the weather warms up, I think these will stick quite nicely onto the boat. 3, 6, 9, 12. Draw some little lines on here. Yeah, cutting out circles on velcro is, yeah, that's going to be a challenge. So rectangles it is, and they shouldn't pull off here anyway because they are going to be sewn on, and as we've proven, they're not going to come off the boat once they've cured. The main issue has been the sticky back actually coming off the velcro. So yeah, so I think these velcro things are going to be okay, and all else fails we'll just use some VHB. So there's my 4 pieces. The next job will be, I've got to now, I don't want to get these mixed up because these are all now cut to each other, but I need to unpeel these. Oh gosh, this is going to be this is going to be a challenge getting these unpeeled. Crikey. There we go. So I'm going to make sure I leave these in the right order, and then I'm just going to stick these down into the corners, and then I'm going to sew them to make sure they're secure. So I'm just finding the middle here by doing a fold, and then I'm going to stick this one in the middle at the top there. That's it. There we go. And then the bottoms, yeah, we can do the middles by the quarters by folding. Should have done that before I did put that one on there, but folding and then folding again. Put little creases in there. And then you'll see I've got 2 marks there and there, which will be where the 2 bottom pieces go. Let's do that on that side. So this will be here, and the last piece will be here on this little crease there. Right, so that's all my pieces now fitted. I can always add another one if I want to. I'm wondering whether I should have another one in the middle there for good measure. But now what I'm going to do is sew these so they're fixed really well to the mesh. Right, didn't really want to bore you with the sewing, but they've now been sewn on. So and I've actually stuck the relevant backing ones onto there as well. So these are all sewn on, as you may be able to just see that, all sewn round. So they'll be really hard, fast onto the fabric. Just got to do 3 more. That took me about half an hour and a broken needle, but 3 more to go, and then job's a good one. And here are the finished covers. I'm not going to tell you this was easy. Sewing the velcro on here was so hard. It took me like 2 hours to do all of these, to the point that I've actually done the other 3 just with 6 patches, not the 4 at the bottom, the 3 at the bottom rather, not the 4. I figure it'll be okay. So one of the things I need to do for my let's just get me on camera here. One of the things I need to do for my to fit my tiller pilot to the deck of the boat is, I think we decided in the last boatyard video that I'm going to try it, or I need one of those little pedestals just to raise the tiller pilot up a bit. I think going straight into the deck, because the deck slopes away into the scuppers, I don't think the tiller pilot's going to get over that hump, so it just needs one side raising up. And you know, Simrad do these little pedestals in various heights. However, they're really expensive. They're like, I think they're like £70. So I thought to myself, I've been making these little connectors for poles. So I've actually, unfortunately, I've pulled them apart. But what they consist of are one of these threaded inserts, and that would go one side, and then the other side is a screw-in thread, and then that would allow me to screw these together. And I thought, well, these are pretty beefy and big and long because I think of the forces involved. But actually, I've got some smaller threaded, or whatever these are called, threads. And in my little box of threaded inserts here, I realise I've got some little dinky sort of shallow ones. So the thought occurred to me that I could use a little piece of wood on the deck, or actually have the wood under the deck with the threaded insert in it, and I could make my own little stand-up pedestal. And that's brilliant because I can make this to whatever height I need to. You know, I'm not sure whether the 30 centimetre, 30 millimetre or the 60 millimetre pedestal is the one I need. And that would save me loads of money as well. Now let's just see if that will allow that to go in. I hope it does, because yeah, I think I might just get that to fit. There we go. So we're just going to put this in. I mean, once these are screwed in, they're terrifically secure. So I'm actually going to screw that in so it's a little bit dug into the wood, so it's flush a bit more. There we go. And then in here, I just need to screw this in. It uses the same kind of these weird Torx Allen keys, but fortunately I've got a pair of these. I think on my old car, the old roof rack mounts use these. That's why I've got these. And also, it's the same thread that puts the cleat back on my centerboard top box. So interesting, isn't it, really? And then the idea would be this would actually be mounted under the hull and epoxied on as a backing plate. And then perhaps the screw piece, yeah, I mean, I think the screw piece would be in the wood, and then we'd have to make sure we marry this up and we screw this all the way through. And then what I'll make sure to do is maybe we'll have to do some really fine epoxy work just to seal that. And then this, when you want to use it, so imagine that's what's on the deck, and when you want to use your tiller pilot, you screw this in. There we go. And that's nice and, oh gosh, yes, that's tight. And then obviously this is too high, but then into this will be maybe it'll be sort of this high, and then into that you just put the little tiller pilot cup and we'll epoxy that in. So when you want to use the tiller pilot, you screw this in. When you don't want to use the tiller pilot, you take this out, and you've got a flush deck, which is quite nice. And you know, this you know, actually is really strong, much more than strong enough. I was concerned that this would perhaps, the pivot of just the rod, you know, there's not much to stop it moving, so a lot of force is on here. But actually I think that's going to be okay for the tiller pilot, considering a block with, you know, a load of VHB tape actually did a really good job. when we were testing it. But the other thing I could do is actually cut some circles out of this and just build them up, stick them together, and have a little disc of plywood that's all epoxied and varnished. So actually that would be extremely strong. It wouldn't have much force. You know, the forces will be much further out on the circle. So if this proves to be a little bit wanting, then we can actually, you know, make an improved design without having to change the bottom of the boat. You know, what's been epoxied into the boat. But actually this, as far as solution goes, is actually brilliant. So the other thing I want to just do is check if this screw protrudes at all, and as you can see it doesn't. So that's really good as well. It means we can get all the screw thread in there and it doesn't protrude. I think we've got the right length thread bit in. So that means I can make this this whole hole will be waterproof. There won't be a hole into the boat, which is good news. So yeah, really hopeful about that. I'm testing out a little new heater I've got here. It's actually a 500 watt heater, but it does pump out some nice hot air. And I'm hoping I can just have it on, you know, even an hour would only be sort of 20p. So if I can get the temperature of the workshop up in here, and then just maintain it maybe with this heater, then we've got a chance of doing a little bit of varnishing. You can see though, I don't know if you can see, it's still just really cold. It's still, it's not snowed for like 3 days, but it's still there. It's just so icy and cold here at the moment. But anyway, I've took a risk and I've deck soiled one last coat on the front of here, and then maybe I'll do one last coat on the back. And yeah, I'm hoping this will just raise the temperature in here enough so that the deck soil will soak in and it will behave itself. I've been busy doing all the jobs I can do. This is my second pillow. I've made, I don't know why, for some bizarre reason that pillow is just bigger than this one. I think this was my first ever attempt at a box pillow. I think you can see the corners probably a little bit tied in there, sewn up, so that's made it a little bit squishy squashed in there. But they're my two pillows, and they're still, I mean, look at that, they're pretty similar in width. So they're the pillows I'm hoping to stick on the centerboard just for added comfort, and then they'll become my pillow when I'm sleeping, and then, you know, also little ad hoc sort of sitting pillows. So that's those done. The other thing I've been doing today or this week are 3D printing stuff. So I've just got a couple of my fenders here, and this is my fender clip, and this will just click over the transom, and here we go. There's the idea. You put the fender rope through here, and then you just tie a knot, you know. I'm just using a figure of 8 knot, but something that, you know, just roughly gets it to the right length of line. And then maybe I could just pop this up a little, and then there you go. That will be your fender clip, and then you can take the whole clip off, or you can actually undo the fender quite easy if you'd rather do that. I've got a couple of those. I did originally do this, oh not that, oh yeah, this one, which is a bit rounder than this one, and this print here is a little bit rough. It's quite a steep angle. You can see there's little bits of plastic coming off. So I did a different one here, which is a slightly sharper edge, but still curved. The idea of this is to make sure you're not going to knock it and hurt yourself on them. So I've got a couple of those for testing. So the other thing I've done is I've done version 2 of the anchor choc clips. So there's the first one, and here's the second one. So you can see, if I just put these opposite way round, you'll see that this one is a lot lower, so the anchor will sit lower down in the hull. The other thing I've done, you'll see it's actually also the anchor point is much deeper, so that means these will be a little bit more forgiving, but also this was just too small. Don't think there was enough holding the anchor. So like before, I'm not going to sharpen, curve off any edges until we know these are right. When we know they're right, we'll print these off. A couple of them, I'll have to do a mirror image of this. I think I can do that automatically in my software. And then those will sit on the boat. There'll be 2 screw holes, I think, in there as well to stop this from moving. But we'll take that down to the boat next week, or well, when we next go. The last thing I've been 3D printing today is this. Sorry about the prints. The print was a bit shabby on this one, but this is actually, well, I just got thinking about these and if I could use them for other uses. Well, this one actually has a hole in the top, and into that hole slot my, I just think you can see that, my flag. So, and this hole here, hang on, this string will fit through there, won't it? Look. So that is simply a little hole that will secure the flag a little bit. I thought about using just a rubber bungee just to give that some force so it wouldn't go in. And actually you could have it tied. You could even tie it up here if you really wanted to, together with that, to keep it nice and taut. So, that's that. One issue with this is I think the flag stick needs to be a little bit, it needs to be more at an angle, really. But that will do for now. This then can clip onto the gunwale and be pushed all the way to the back of the boat, onto the side of the boat. So it's out, so it's not using the sculling oarlock. And, it just gives another place to put this ensign. Obviously, don't forget I've also got the clip that I made for the top of the mizzen as well. So we've got a few places for flags now, which will be, and actually on the lake where you don't really have any flag etiquette, this would be quite fun to sort of hoist some sort of Jolly Rogers and things like that. So that's that.